What's up, everybody? I'm John Middlekauff. You know what I need you to do. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We got content for days reacting to every NFL game all the time, every single day. Subscribe, like the videos. Let's go. I don't know if it was the owners' meetings or maybe it was at your pre-draft press conference where you just kind of came out because you were asked about the Geno trade and you said, hey, we offered him money. Like we tried to extend him. And I was just thinking, like, would you 10 years ago, would you have been that candid in that situation or just kind of played the GM cliche role? Is it safe to say, I mean this in a good way, like your give a shit level of like worrying about everything, you have more confidence now, you've done this longer where it's easier to be open about a situation like that? Or is that something that you would have been pretty transparent with no matter what? Because you're like, we like this player. I mean, that was the reason we signed him. I didn't try to
Yeah,
just trade him for a third round pick for the hell of it.
I think, it's basically, how would you describe it? Like any job, your confidence level is going to, just by the nature of your different experiences that you put together over the years, you're going to have, your confidence level is going to improve. There's no question about that. But yeah, I think, one of the coolest things that I learned from Ted Thompson, God rest his soul, and Marty Schottenheimer, God rest his soul as well, was that how you treat players. Both those guys were like, nowadays will be your like 53rd player every year, worrying about making the team. Um, really good special teams players. So how you treat, especially somebody that like never had like anywhere near the opportunity to play in the National Football League, how you treat the players with like clear honesty and integrity and understanding like what they're truly going through and what the locker room is going to look like. So I think that the experience I had with Ted and Marty really helped me in terms of like, you're not always going to like what you hear, but you're going to hear the truth. And we can disagree um, on whatever we're discussing, but I'm not going to be sitting here trying to BS you.
You've been pretty open with the DK situation too about the lines of communication, his unhappiness. You were honest with where you stood with it. You're talking about a third contract guy. Do you think looking back at some of your situations, whether it's with Sherm or Bobby Wagner, those guys over the years, make those situations easier for you to handle? Because it feels like that trade and that situation was relatively seamless, at least for the outside for you guys. I would say, you've had a lot of good draft picks in your career. That's got to be up there near the top. I mean, this was a pretty integral player for you and one of your
Yeah.
crowning achievements as a GM, drafting a guy in the late second who, what do you have, 28 touchdowns through his first 3 years of his
Yeah.
career or something?
Yeah. Yeah. I think, every situation, every individual is very different. And you can learn from, there's situations that we've been through, um, that for one reason or another, the lines of communication get jacked up or the timing's off, or, we've had several players that represent themselves, Russell Okung, Sherm, Bobby. For a while there, I felt like we were the testing ground for that. But those are those are always really difficult situations. And
So is that you and him asking, like he's just peppering you with questions about his contract and you are talking like you would to an agent, or do you have to
right,
massage
but
that one a little different?
yeah, you have to massage it a little different because like no matter what, you, you, agents, they have there's a buffer there, and it helps with a certain level of communication that goes into the seriousness of these talks. And so when you're constantly trying to adjust the way you're speaking, because like these are all like we've all been through negotiations. It gets really personal, and you could say it's not, but really it is. And so, uh, with in regards to DK, we had a ton of conversations last off season, about like his legacy, where he wanted to go. He stayed. He wanted to be here. Once he met the new coaching staff, he was excited. And then, this year it just happened again. You can't change the way people think as much as we love him and we want to have him here. when people want to leave, it's difficult to try to convince them to stay. So yeah, we just had, very honest communication, like for probably about a month and a half. And I asked him to just take some time and think on it. And then he did. And then by the time we got to the combine, I say that in regards to like Bobby and Sherman Russell, because I had that relationship with him. So I was speaking more to him than I was his agent. And so once we got back from the combine, we had another real open talk, and then we told him we would concede to his wishes, and no promises, but we'll see where it goes. And Pittsburgh, Omar, and those guys are really aggressive.
The NBA Finals are here, and this is your last chance to bet on the NBA until next season. And the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is pulling out all the stops to make it a finals to remember. One team will be crowned the champ, and the other will be lost to history. Who you got winning it all? Obviously, everyone's picking the Thunder. Not going to lie, don't hate dabbling a little on the Pacers. 5-1 to win the series. It's the NBA Finals. They just destroy the one seed, the Cavs, work the Knicks. I think people are sleeping on the Pacers a little bit. I get the Thunder are good, but I think people are underrating the Pacers. All season long, DraftKings has been the go-to spot for NBA player props, and that doesn't stop now. Who you got carrying their team to the chip? Try placing a bet on your personal MVP to drop 30, 40, or 50. I would expect, obviously, Shea, but definitely Halliburton to have some big games. Ready to place your first bet? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Lock in your bets and finish the season as a winner. Here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers, bet $5, win $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Don't miss your last chance to bet on the NBA season. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code JOHN. That's code JOHN for new customers to get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Do you ever get numb or do you feel numb to the amount of money as the GM you're negotiating with, just to these player contracts? And I would imagine you deal with coaching contracts too.
Yeah.
Where, when you first got to Green Bay, I mean, what did Reggie sign for? $3-4 million a year? Couldn't have been much.
Yeah, it was a total of, I think they had $24 million like in their coffers, and I think they gave him 14 of it or 17 of it or something like that, right? Yeah, that was like
that's like a Cooper Cup signing bonus now.
Yeah. Yeah, I've tried to surround myself with younger talented guys, like Joey Lane does our cap for us now. And so, he's like, okay, yeah, $10 million is what it means, John. And then it's like, okay, they can show me like every position, and that helps me. But yes, you're right. It's like, whoa. And then when I see like the baseball contracts and NBA contracts, I'm just floored. Our ownership group, Jody owns the Blazers, too. Mr. Allen, ran the Blazers, and I'd always pepper those guys and their GMs about like the guaranteed money. Like it floors me. But hey, at the end of the day, it's entertainment, right? It's entertainment business, and we're all blessed to be a part of it.